I have awesome news. You're going to want to go ahead and leave a like on this video right away because Disney is finally getting it stuck to them. It is finally, their chickens are coming home to roost. They are finally going to have to answer for what they did to a beloved actress, somebody that I have met on multiple occasions and is probably the kindest person I've ever met in my life. And that they're going to finally pay for what they did to Gina Carano, tacitly calling her all sorts of heinous things, obviously firing her from The Mandalorian, but much, much more behind the scenes as it would appear. Gina Carano, who worked 20 years building her career, has essentially been blacklisted ever since this event, and she's fighting back. She's had enough of it. And I completely support her. Let's take a look at the statement she just issued because it is a powerful one, and it's one that I want to share with you. Again, she's somebody I've met before. We met on set of her movie in Montana, and she was so incredibly nice, so incredibly kind with her time. I remember she skipped lunch just to do an interview with me, which you might think isn't a big deal, but when people are working, 20-hour days, getting a little bit of time for lunch is kind of important. But she made time for me, and even she made time to make fun of how I hug. I was just trying to be a gentleman. Next time I see Gina, I'm going to try and crush her with the biggest bear hug I've ever doled out. Probably still will fail, but she just announced, today is an important day for me. I am filing a lawsuit against Lucasfilm and Disney. After my 20 years of building a career from scratch and during the regime of former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, Lucasfilm made this statement on Twitter, terminating me from The Mandalorian. Gina Carano is currently not employed with Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be here in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. Now, I think from a legal perspective, that first part I think is totally fine. They obviously can announce if somebody is no longer with them. But this second part was not only untrue, but meant to disparage her and prevent her from getting future employment, at least in my opinion. She writes, nothing could be further from the truth. The truth is I was being hunted down for everything I posted, to every post I liked, because I was not in line with the acceptable narrative of the time. My words were consistently twisted and demonized and to dehumanize me as an alt-right wing extremist. It was a bully smear campaign aimed at silencing and destroying and making an example out of me, and I 100% agree with this. The thing is, I never even used aggressive language. I shared thought-provoking quotes, pictures, memes, and occasionally I used my own words, not with aggression but with respect and the occasional comedy to keep the mood light in dark times. Look with your own eyes at what I posted and ask yourself, for example, where do I compare Republicans to the Jewish people during the Big H? I didn't. Ask yourself why they were calling me racist. Was there any merit behind that or history of it whatsoever? No. Look at why I was called a transphobe for making droid noises from Star Wars. Beep, bop, boop was obviously directed at the online bullies and did not in any way denigrate trans people. Were my questions about masks, lockdowns, and forced jabs okay to ask and push the subject into light? Should we have been allowed to publicly discuss those topics at a time without being harassed or censored? Absolutely. Hollywood says they support female representation and equal rights. Why then were my male co-stars permitted to speak without harassment and re-education courses or termination? Now, she's talking about Pedro Pascal, who made a similar comparison and received no punishment. And I think that will come up in court. And I think that is an absolutely fair thing to say. And I want to give Gina Carano a lot of credit because she never dragged him before and she doesn't name him either. Here, I'm sure that's who she's talking about. And I'm sure that's what will come up in court. But I was not afforded the same right to exercise my freedom of speech. Artists do not sign away our rights as American citizens when we enter employment. I've spoken to all my co-stars since I was fired, and there is nothing but care and kind words between us. I respect their right to free speech and do not have to think the same on every issue to be friends and work with them. I know they feel the same way towards me. A couple months ago, Elon Musk tweeted that if you had been fired from using the platform X for exercising your right to free speech, he would like to offer to pay those people's legal representation. Quite the noble offer, but never in my wildest dreams would I still have thought anyone would take my case against Lucas and Disney. Still, I did respond back and say, I think I qualify. Thousands of people agreed, but I did not expect anything. To my surprise, a few months ago, I received an email from a lawyer who had been hired by X to look into my story and many others. Turns out, after sending them as much information as I could gather over the past few months, now my lawyers and X believe wholeheartedly in my case and are moving forward. Absolute W here. Like, this is obviously there's a lot of benefit here to Elon Musk to stick it to Disney, but I don't care. Even though Gina Carano isn't exactly poor, taking on Disney in a lawsuit could take millions of dollars to do, and it's going to take an entire legal team. And again, even though Gina isn't poor, she probably still needed help financially and with resources to take on this fight. I would like to express my deepest gratitude and thank you to Elon Musk and X for giving me an opportunity to bring my case to light. As for me, I would love to pick up where I left off and continue my journey of creating and participating in storytelling, which is my utmost passion and everything I've worked so hard for. It's been difficult to move forward with the lies and labels stuck on me, backed and encouraged by the most powerful entertainment company in the world. I am grateful some have come to my defense in such a powerful way. Look forward to clearing my name. Thank you to all the people who have supported me and made your voices heard. I pray God blesses each and every one of you. With love, Gina Carano. Yeah. I mean, absolute awesome. 30,000 likes at this particular juncture. You see Data Race reporting Star Wars ignored thousands upon thousands of threats on Gina's life and all sorts of other terrible things sent to Gina Carano for months just before they fired her. Here's just a sample. Here's Sydney Watson. Get 'em. J3PO, let's rock. Colin Rudd, good, we all support you. Carl Benjamin, Godspeed. I mean, this woman is absolutely beloved by her fans, by fans of free speech. There is nobody outside of the terminally online weirdos that harassed her for months that have anything negative to say about her. I mean, it's, Tim Young, just get him. Jordan Satchel, got him. I mean, there is nothing but support in here. And, I am 100% here for it. Do I think this is going to turn out to be a victory for her? I don't think it even matters. Elon Musk, quote, tweeting this saying, please let us know if you'd like to join the lawsuit against Disney. I think, this is great because you end up in a scenario where Elon's personal vendetta, and, the man does hold a vendetta with the best of them, better than any woman I've ever met. I think I don't really care what the motivations are because I've always felt that Gina Carano was, completely wronged by this. There are lots of actors and actresses in Hollywood that say heinous things that I disagree with. I don't think they should be fired. I don't think they should be, publicly disparaged by their employers. I mean, just look at this conflict going on over in the desert. I don't care which side you pick. You've got all sorts of stars saying heinous things about groups of people that go completely unpunished whatsoever. And it's absolutely wild to me that anyone would have turned against her. The fact of the matter is, Disney bowed to what I can only assume were a bot network of weirdo pro-trans people. Her timelines were filled with an unending deluge of hate. Disney never protected her. Disney never stood up for her. The Star Wars official account was never issuing, we stand with Gina Carano stuff like they did for other actresses. So no, I think this is great. I absolutely support Gina's lawsuit, and I hope she takes them to the cleaners. I couldn't be happier for her. I wish her the best, and send her some positive vibes on X. And I'm happy to report this news. Very happy.